It hits you in strange moments. In the middle of a long commute, while scrolling endlessly at 2 a.m., or standing in the shower, staring at the tiles, that quiet, haunting question, am I wasting my life? You're not lazy, you're not stupid. You're trying, working, surviving, maybe even succeeding. Something inside whispers, this isn't it. There's more than this. It's not always a scream. Sometimes it's just a silence, too heavy to ignore. You look around. Other people seem so certain. They're chasing careers, goals, adventures. And you wonder, are they ahead, or are they just distracted? Meanwhile, time keeps moving. You're older than you've ever been, and younger than you'll ever be again. Here's the hard truth. Most of us will spend decades of life on autopilot, busy, tired, online. Always doing, rarely asking, why am I doing this at all? In this video, we'll explore why the fear of wasting life is more common than we think, how philosophy helps us face that fear, and how to live in a way that feels real. Even when the world around you feels fake, you're not alone in asking this question. But maybe you've been asking it too quietly. Let's listen louder, together. Welcome to Quiet Philosophy, where thinking is slow and life is real. No one wants to fail, but there's a deeper fear than failure, a fear we rarely name. The fear of living the wrong life, spending years chasing what doesn't matter, becoming successful at things that don't bring joy, of waking up at 45 or 65, and realizing this wasn't me, this was never me. This fear lives in silence, in late-night regrets, in the way your chest tightens when people ask, "So, what do you do?" It shows up when we compare ourselves, when we scroll past someone else's perfect timeline, and slowly it eats away at us, not with loud panic, with quiet doubt. Psychologists have a term for this: existential anxiety. It's the unease that comes when we confront life's big questions. Who am I? What should I be doing? Is this it? It's not a mental illness. It's a human condition. And in our hyperproductive, comparison-driven, always-on society, it's become epidemic. You might look like you're doing fine, but deep inside, your soul is whispering, I don't want to just exist. I want to live right. I want to live well. But here's the problem. No one tells you what living well really means. All we get are vague ideas. Get rich. Be happy. Follow your passion. But what if those are just slogans? What if we've been measuring life by the wrong metrics? That's where philosophy enters. Not to give you all the answers, but to help you ask better questions. There's one truth that every philosopher eventually faces. It's a truth we all know, but rarely confront. You will die. That's not a threat. It's not morbid. It's just the truth. Seneca, the Stoic Roman thinker, said, "You are living as if destined to live forever, yet death looms over you. All you have is time, and you act as if it's infinite." That's the illusion. We act like there will always be more time. We delay dreams. We postpone meaning. Until one day we can't anymore. Martin Heidegger, one of the most misunderstood philosophers, wrote that to be truly human is to be aware of your own mortality. He called this being toward death, not in fear, but in clarity. When you remember that life is finite, you stop wasting it. You stop living for approval. You stop chasing things you don't even want. You start asking, if life ends, what's worth doing before it does? Jean-Paul Sartre pushed the idea further. He said, "You are condemned to be free, because there is no preset path. There's no script, no guaranteed meaning. You must create it, day by day, choice by choice. And yes, that's terrifying. But it's also liberating. If no one hands you your purpose, then no one can take it away. You don't have to live a perfect life. You just have to live a chosen one. You live in the most free, most connected, most option-rich time in human history. You can study anything, move anywhere, start over at any age, and yet you've never felt more lost. Why? Because too many paths can feel like no path at all. Psychologists call it analysis paralysis. The more options you have, the harder it becomes to choose, because every choice means saying no to 100 others. And so, you wait, you hesitate, you scroll, you compare. Slowly you drift. The philosopher Kierkegaard once said, "Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom." Freedom sounds beautiful, but it comes with weight. When no one tells you what to do, you become responsible for everything you do, and that's scary. That's why so many people cling to plans, to checklists, to what their parents want, what society rewards. Not because it's meaningful, but because it's easier than standing alone in front of an open sky, with no map and no guarantees. But here's the secret. You don't need to pick the perfect life. You just need to pick one you're willing to care about. Not forever, just for now. It's just enough to take the next step, consciously. A life is not built by one grand decision. It's built by 1,000 small commitments, made in quiet moments with intention and heart. What if you don't need more clarity? What if you just need less noise? The world will keep telling you to speed up. More goals, more growth, more improvement. But maybe what you need is less. Less pressure. Less pretending. Less pretending to know exactly what you're doing. Philosophers across cultures came to the same conclusion. To live well, you must learn to live slowly. Seneca called it the art of leisure. Lao Tzu called it returning to the root. Simone Weil described it as attention. A pure presence to the now, without demand or judgment. Living slowly isn't laziness, it's deliberate living. It's choosing to be where you are instead of chasing where you're not. It's walking, not sprinting. Not because you can't run, but because you want to see the flowers along the way. You don't find yourself by speeding up. You find yourself by pausing long enough to hear your own voice again. That small, quiet voice inside, the one you've been ignoring. It's still there. It's patient. It's not telling you to become more. It's asking you to come home. You don't need to change the world. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to leave behind a monument. But you do need to feel your life, to taste your food, to listen, truly listen when someone speaks, to sit in silence and not be afraid of it, to cry when something hurts, to laugh when something's real, to mean it, whatever it is. The truth is, life is not a test. There's no grade, no final score. There is only this morning, this walk, this breath. And if that breath is real, if you took it with presence, if you gave someone your attention, if you gave yourself a little kindness today, then know, you are not wasting your life, because you are living it, moment by moment, quietly, deeply, truthfully. This is quiet philosophy, where thinking isn't loud, and life doesn't need to be either. Subscribe if you haven't already, not for noise, but for something you can actually feel.